Tonight, Pinakbet, from the far north of the Philippines, from Ilocos, a narrow, sun-hardened coast pressed between the mountains and the cold China Sea. This is a dish of vegetables, only vegetables, and the salt of the sea, and it is one of the proudest plates in the whole country. The people of the north are known across the islands for wasting nothing at all. Pinakbet is what that thrift tastes like. A handful of native vegetables, bitter melon, eggplant, squash, okra, long beans, and a single spoonful of fermented fish. That is the entire dish. There is a rule here, older than any recipe. You do not stir it. You shake the pot and you let it be. Stir and the vegetables break and the bitterness turns sharp. And the bitterness is the point. The North does not hide from a bitter thing. It sits down and eats it. 4 servings, 20 minutes of preparation, 30 minutes over the fire, 50 minutes all told. Half a pound of pork belly, a 1/4 cup of fermented fish paste, the bagoong, a 1.5 cups of water, 3 tomatoes, 4 cloves of garlic, a thumb of ginger. Then the vegetables. A cup of kalabasa, the squash, 1 bitter melon, 2 eggplants, 8 pods of okra, 6 long beans, a little salt, a little oil. 13 things, and almost all of them from the garden. Begin with the pork. 1/2 pound of belly, cut small, laid into a deep pot over a medium flame. Let it render slowly until the pieces go golden and crisp at the edges. Then lift the meat out and set it aside, but leave the fat behind. 2 spoonfuls of it, gold and clear, pooled in the bottom of the pot. That fat is the foundation. Everything else is built upon it. Into the warm fat, the garlic and the ginger, and then 3 tomatoes. Press them down with the back of a spoon until the skins give way and the juice runs out and the bottom of the pot turns red and soft. Let it cook down just a little until it smells less like a garden and more like the beginning of something. Now the heart of the dish, the bagoong, a 1/4 cup of fermented fish stirred into a 1.5 cups of water. In the north, this is made from monamon, tiny anchovies buried in salt and left to the patience of a year. Strain it into the pot slowly, so the salt and the deep savor pass through and any small bones are left behind. This is the sea, folded into a dish that grew on the land. Now you build it in layers, and once you begin, you do not stir again. The squash first, the kalabasa across the bottom, where the heat is greatest. Its starch will thicken everything above it. Then the bitter melon, then the eggplant, the okra, the long beans. Each vegetable in its own layer, whole and unbroken, resting on the one below. Lay the crisp pork belly back over the top. Then the lid goes on, tightly. The heat comes down, and for 20 minutes, you do not lift it, and you do not stir. Now and then you may take the pot by its handles and shake it gently, so the liquid at the bottom finds its way up through the layers. That is all the hand it needs. The steam does the rest. After 20 minutes, lift the lid. The vegetables have shrunk. The eggplant has gone soft and dark. The bitter melon has turned tender, its edge gentled by the fish and the fat. The squash at the bottom has half dissolved into a sauce the color of amber. Nothing is broken. Nothing is mush. Every vegetable still knows its own shape. Slide a fork in, and when it passes through without resistance, it is done. The name tells you what the dish does. It comes from an Ilocano word, Pinakbet, which means simply to shrink, to shrivel, to draw down, because that is what the vegetables do under the lid, over the fire. They give up their water. They fold in upon themselves. A pot that began overflowing settles into something small and dark and dense with flavor. The North has always understood this, that less, cooked with patience, becomes more. To understand the dish, you must understand the place. Ilocos is a hard country, a thin ribbon of land caught between a mountain range and a cold, rough sea. The soil is stony, the rain is stingy. Nothing comes easily out of that ground. And so the people who farmed it became the most frugal in all the islands, famous and gently teased for the care with which they spend and cook and keep. Pinakbet is not a poor dish. It is a wise one. It is what generations of that carefulness finally came to taste like. And then there is the fish. Along that same cold coast, the catch was salted and packed into earthen jars and left in the dark to ferment for a year or longer. What came out was bagoong, a paste the color of dusk and a smell that fills a whole house. It is one of the oldest ways people have ever found to hold the sea still, to keep the ocean's protein through a lean season in a jar on a shelf. One spoonful turns a bowl of plain vegetables into a full meal. Nothing on that coast was ever allowed to spoil when it could be made to last. There is one vegetable in this pot that most of the world learns to avoid: the bitter melon, the ampalaya. Green and ridged and honestly, truly bitter. The North did not breed the bitterness out of it. They built a dish around it instead. Softened by fish and fat and squash, that bitterness becomes something else. A deep, clean, grown-up note that the whole plate leans upon. To love Pinakbet is to have made peace with a bitter thing, which is perhaps its own small lesson. Spoon it over hot white rice. Let the amber sauce, heavy with fish and fat and squash, sink down into the grains. Every vegetable is still whole. Every one still tastes of itself. The sweet squash, the soft eggplant, the clean bitter melon, the salt of the sea running through all of it, and the pork, gone crisp, waiting at the top. 50 minutes, a pot that was never stirred, only shaken, and a coast that learned a very long time ago to want nothing it did not already have. That is the whole spirit of the North, held in one small, shrunken, honest bowl. Keep everything, waste nothing, and find in the bitter something worth loving. And the table, at last, is set.